In the world of 21st century fighter jets, the biggest upgrades are the ones you never see. They aren't announced in press releases or shown off at air shows. They happen deep inside the machine, hidden from view. And for years, a rumor has been echoing through defense forums, a story of a secret deal, a clandestine upgrade, and a fighter jet that suddenly became something more. The story goes that Saab, the maker of Sweden's iconic Gripen fighter, secretly teamed up with the legendary engine maker Rolls-Royce. The goal? Not to build a new jet, but to fundamentally rewire the one they already had. It's a tale of impossible engine efficiencies, a thermal signature that could change at will, and a ghost in the skies that left NATO planners absolutely scrambling. This is the legend of how Rolls-Royce quietly rewired the Gripen and caught the world's most powerful military alliance off guard. But in this world of billion-dollar contracts and geopolitics, legends and rumors are often just that. So today, we're going to pull on that thread. We'll explore the incredible claims of this secret pact and the revolutionary tech it supposedly created. Then, we're going to shift from rumor to reality. We'll investigate what Saab and General Electric were really doing while the internet was buzzing about Rolls-Royce. And what we uncover is a different kind of revolution, one that's not about a secret engine, but about software, sensors, and electronic dominance that is genuinely rewriting the rules of air combat. The truth, you'll see, is even better than the fiction. The story that has captivated aviation fans starts simply enough. A routine upgrade to the Saab Gripen E, the latest version of Sweden's fighter. Publicly, this was all standard stuff. A bigger airframe, a more powerful engine, new avionics. But according to the story making the rounds online, this was just a cover. The real work was happening under the skin of the aircraft, far from the prying eyes of competitors. This alternate history centers on a secret team-up with Rolls-Royce to do something audacious to the Gripen E's American-made General Electric F414G engine. Instead of replacing it, the legend claims they re-engineered it from the inside out. This wasn't about bolting on new parts, it was about changing the engine's DNA. The wildest claim revolves around something called an adaptive thermal intelligence loop. According to unverified reports, Rolls-Royce helped embed microscopic sensors throughout the engine. These sensors would feed thermal data to a new digital controller, which could then reroute heat microseconds before hotspots could even form. The result? A fighter jet that could supposedly play games with its own infrared signature. This ghost Gripen could mask its heat to look like a tiny drone, or even mimic the signature of a different jet entirely, sowing total confusion. The legend got even better with claims of micro-burst cooling. Instead of a steady plume of hot exhaust, the rewired engine would spit out irregular cooler pulses designed to break the lock of even the most advanced heat-seeking missiles. The story really took off with supposed anecdotes from classified NATO exercises after Sweden joined the alliance in 2024. Pilots in F-35s and Typhoons reportedly filed bizarre after-action reports describing Gripens that would pop up on their infrared sensors with the faint heat signature of a commercial drone, only to vanish moments later. AWACS controllers were supposedly baffled, tracking a single-engine fighter that seemed to have the thermal profile of a much larger, stealthier jet. And it didn't stop there. The story tells of reactive internal vanes inside the engine that would adjust in milliseconds, giving the Gripen incredible efficiency at extreme altitudes. This would let it perch at the edge of space, saving fuel while its sensors scanned the battlefield. This tied into another part of the myth, a massive, unexplained leap in combat range. The Gripen E already had 40% more internal fuel, but this secret rewiring supposedly made it so efficient that its range started to rival heavy twin-engine fighters like the Super Hornet. Finally, the legend talks about a digital synapse, an adaptive engine control that eliminated throttle lag, giving pilots near-instantaneous thrust. The jet could accelerate or decelerate so fast it seemed to defy the physics of its own engine. Together, these rumors painted a picture of a fighter transformed. It wasn't about more power. It was about deception and intelligence. It was a classic underdog story. The narrative was compelling, and it fit perfectly with the mystique of Swedish engineering. It was a story so good, you wanted it to be true. But when you start looking for a single verifiable source, the entire epic begins to dissolve. Every great story deserves a fact check, and this is where the legend of the Ghost Gripen hits a wall. When you move from online forums to the world of procurement documents and official statements, the trail for this secret pact goes completely cold. There is zero credible evidence to back it up. The first nail in the coffin comes directly from the top. In early 2026, with speculations swirling, Saab's CEO, Mikael Johansson, addressed it head-on. He made it perfectly clear that sticking with the current U.S.-made General Electric F414G engine is the most economically viable solution. He went on to say that integrating a new engine would be a large-scale undertaking and would undoubtedly be uneconomical. That statement is everything. Re-engineering a jet isn't like swapping an engine in a car. It's a monumental task requiring a redesigned airframe, millions of new lines of code, and a multi-billion-dollar flight testing campaign. The idea that Saab could do this secretly, with a foreign partner, without any contracts or public announcements, is just not believable. On top of that, the whole idea of a secret pact with Rolls-Royce to modify a General Electric engine is a logistical and legal nightmare. The GE F414 is a piece of advanced American military tech, and its design is protected by strict U.S. arms regulations, or ITAR. The thought that GE would just let a major competitor like Rolls-Royce poke around the guts of its flagship engine for a secret project is, from an industry perspective, absurd. So where did this story even come from? It seems to be a case of internet wishful thinking, mixed with a little bit of history. Back in the late 90s, a European group did propose a different engine for an older Gripen model, but that deal fell through. It seems that old idea got resurrected and mashed together with a very real strategic concern: dependence on American parts. For any country buying the Gripen, the fact that its engine is American-made means every sale can be vetoed by Washington. That's a real weakness. The desire for a fully European, non-ITAR Gripen is strong, and the Rolls-Royce rumor represents that wish. A Gripen that offers true strategic independence. But a wish isn't reality. The technical details of the legend, the adaptive thermal loops and microburst cooling, don't appear in any engineering patents or official papers from Saab, GE, or Rolls-Royce. They exist in a closed loop of unverified social media posts and YouTube videos. And what about those NATO exercises? While the first Gripen E's began arriving with the Swedish Air Force around 2024,
There are no public reports from pilots or officials confirming the kind of shock and confusion the myth describes. The story of NATO being caught off guard appears to be a total fabrication.
The conclusion is unavoidable. The tale is a modern military myth. But that's not the end of the story. Because if the Gripen E's edge doesn't come from a secret engine, then where does it come from? The answer reveals the true revolution at Saab. A revolution of software, sensors, and a totally different way of thinking about air combat. While the internet was chasing a ghost, Saab was busy executing a very real, and frankly more profound, revolution. The true genius of the Gripen E isn't hidden in some mythical engine. It's openly declared in its design. This is a fighter built for the information age, prioritizing situational awareness and electronic warfare over raw speed or stealth. This is the story of how code is becoming more important than carbon fiber. The heart of the Gripen E is the powerful and well-documented General Electric F414G. This engine is a beast, delivering around 22,000 pounds of thrust, a 25% jump over the engine in the older Gripen. That extra power is essential for the bigger, heavier Gripen E, allowing it to carry more fuel and weapons. This is the same engine family that powers the U.S. Navy's Super Hornet, so it's got a proven track record. And here's a kernel of truth in the rumors. The F414 has massive growth potential. Its performance can be significantly changed just through software adjustments to its digital control system, known as FADEC. This means the engine can be programmed for maximum power in a dogfight or maximum efficiency on a long patrol, all without changing a single piece of hardware. That adaptability, engineered by GE and leveraged by Saab, is a strategic advantage all on its own. The real ghost in the machine isn't a thermally vanishing engine. It's the Gripen E's incredible ability to see, process, and share information. First, there's its Raven ES-05 AESA radar. Unlike older radars that have to physically point at a target, this one steers its beams electronically. Even better, it's mounted on a swash plate, allowing it to pivot and scan a massive 200-degree arc, far wider than the fixed 120-degree view on many competitors. This means a Gripen pilot can track an enemy far off to their side, or even slightly behind them, without having to turn the whole jet. It can literally look over its shoulder. Second is the Skyward G Infrared Search and Track IRST system. This is a passive sensor. It just looks for the heat signatures of other aircraft without giving away its own position. In an era of stealth, the ability to hunt for targets without turning on your radar, a technique pilots call silent hunting, is a game changer. But the real magic is the sensor fusion. The Gripen E was designed to take all the data from its radar, its IRST, its data links, and its electronic warfare suite, and fuse it into a single, simple picture for the pilot on a massive, widescreen display. AI helps filter the flood of data, identify threats, and suggest actions, massively reducing the pilot's workload. This brings us to maybe the most important part of the Gripen E's dominance, its electronic warfare EW capability. If the Gripen truly seems like a ghost to its opponents, this is where the haunting begins. The aircraft is equipped with the Arexis EW suite, an advanced system designed to control the electromagnetic spectrum. It's constantly listening with AI-driven algorithms, identifying enemy radar signals. Once it finds a threat, Rexus can use a technology called DRFM to digitally copy an incoming radar signal, twist it, and send it back, creating false targets or making the Gripen appear to be somewhere it isn't. It's an electronic master of deception. In late 2025, the commander of the Swedish Air Force, Major General Jonas Wickman, even said he expected the EW tech to be the central strength of the Gripen E. This is the real explanation for the rumors of Gripens flickering on AWACS. It isn't a magic engine. It's a world-class electronic attack system designed to deceive an enemy's sensors. The Gripen E can wear an electronic sheep's costume whenever it needs to. This combination of a powerful engine, a brilliant sensor system, and a formidable EW suite is the true secret behind the Gripen E. It wins not by being physically invisible, but by achieving information dominance. That is the real rewiring, and it's a revolution happening in plain sight. The Gripen E's true evolution carries huge implications for the future of air combat. The surprise for NATO wasn't a secret engine. It was seeing how a cost-effective, single-engine fighter could achieve a level of awareness that challenges the multi-billion-dollar stealth jets. When Sweden joined NATO in 2024, it brought a unique military philosophy with it. For decades, Swedish fighters were designed to operate not from big, vulnerable air bases, but from scattered sections of highway. A Gripen can be refueled and rearmed by a small team in under 15 minutes from an 800-meter stretch of road. In a conflict where major bases would be the first targets, this ability to disperse is a massive strategic advantage. The surprise for NATO is seeing this survival strategy paired with a cutting-edge sensor and EW platform. The Gripen E isn't just surviving, it's acting as the eyes, ears, and electronic shield for other Allied jets. This has also reignited export debates, especially in Canada. The Gripen E, often positioned against the F-35, now makes a compelling case. Its lower cost is a big selling point, but the real argument is its philosophy. For a country with vast airspace to patrol, a fighter combining long-range, low operating costs, and a world-class sensor suite offers a different, perhaps more practical value than a dedicated stealth jet. The Gripen E's actual capabilities offer a different kind of sovereignty, doctrinal independence. This challenges the unspoken rule that air superiority requires all-aspect, very low observable stealth. The Gripen E offers another path. Instead of being physically invisible, it aims to win the information battle. It seeks to see first, understand first, and use its powerful electronic attack to blind and confuse the enemy, creating tactical invisibility when it counts. It can also carry up to 7 advanced Meteor long-range missiles, allowing it to act as a missile truck, directed to a target by a stealthy F-35 or using its own powerful sensors. This interoperability is where it finds its place. It doesn't have to be an F-35 because it can make every F-35, Typhoon, and Rafale around it better. The shock within NATO was never about an engine. It was the dawning of a new reality. A smaller nation, through clever design, had produced a fighter that could punch far above its weight. It proved that in the 21st century, the fight is as much about information as it is about thrust and altitude. So where does that leave us with our headline? How Rolls-Royce quietly rewired the Gripen and caught NATO off guard. We've journeyed through the myth and investigated the facts, and the conclusion is clear. The Rolls-Royce pact is modern military folklore, born from strategic desire, national pride, and the Internet's amazing ability to tell a great story. There was no secret rewiring. There were no phantom heat signatures. The story is fiction. But dismissing it is a mistake, because the reality of the Gripen E is just as revolutionary. The true rewiring of the Gripen was in its soul. Saab engineered a fighter for a new age of warfare, where processing information is as critical as maneuvering. Its edge comes from a brilliant integration of radar, infrared sensors, and a world-beating electronic warfare suite. It achieves superiority through data fusion and mastery of the electromagnetic spectrum. This is the real lesson that's reshaping NATO doctrine. Air dominance is no longer the exclusive domain of ultra-expensive stealth platforms. A cost-effective, adaptable, and networked fighter can create its own form of lethality. The legend of the Ghost Gripen was exciting, but the truth of the software Gripen is far more significant. It's proof that in modern air combat, the smartest fighter in the sky is often the most dangerous. What are your thoughts on the Gripen E's design? Is the future of air combat all about stealth, or is information dominance the new name of the game? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this look at military myth and reality, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for our next investigation.